Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day, where we're covering Superman number 48 and the first story, The Man Who Stole the Sun. One of the best Superman stories I have read so far. Where have these been? I have a suspicion Mort Weisinger was involved in this story. He's not editor yet, but he is behind the scenes. He has been on the behind the scenes of Superman for, let's say, 1945 at least. Maybe a little later, but he's around. He's just not technically the one in charge. But this feels like a big sci-fi story he's going to be making them do in the 1950s. Not everything's great when it comes to Mort Weisinger. Actually, most things are not great when it comes to Mort Weisinger, and I'm going to do a video on Mort Weisinger when we get to the 1950s. But even the title page here is pretty great, with Luthor literally holding the sun and running away with it as Superman calls him a thief. That's better than most of these stories have been. So Luthor has stolen the sun. Not technically. The sun is still there. He has created a spaceship that is able to block the sun. It seems to use two magnifying glasses, which you think would do the exact opposite of blocking the sun, but it does shoot like a death ray later in a way that you would think two magnifying glasses right next to the sun would do. So maybe, without the sun, the Earth is freezing, so we're all going to die, and that's a problem, and a job for Superman. But Superman decides not to actually take care of this right away. His first plan is to build underground cities. You don't want to go deal with what's happened to the sun first? Immediately to the underground cities. And he builds one and goes, I'm going to reproduce this all across the world, and we won't freeze, we'll be underground. Luthor destroys it with the death ray. Love it. Superman tries something, immediately defeated by Luthor. Obstacles, challenges, pacing, building, structure. I'm just going to keep saying one-word sentences for a while. It's doing it for me. But the story has gone big with, a guy who I just recently said is max OP. He's overpowered. Let's go big with it. And why not go big with it with Luthor stealing the sun? God, we haven't had Luthor do something crazy where I say he brings the A game in a while, but he has truly brought his A game here. Luthor is also shooting down demands and letters signed Luthor, World Dictator. So yeah, Luthor's gone crazy. This is the Luthor we deserve. Luthor comes down to Earth to make his final demands to the president, leaving his ship completely unguarded. No one tries to do anything to it. Lois just sneaks in, because we need Lois in danger for the third act, because saving the sun and the Earth wasn't enough. Maybe that's too much of an obstacle. You didn't need that extra bit. But Superman flies right through his force field and breaks those magnifying glasses immediately. And this is my main criticism of the story, is I could have done with one more beat, one more obstacle in his way, that Superman tries something and Luthor has something planned. As it goes, the climax is a little less thrilling than the rest of the comic, because the rest of the comic kept giving challenges or upping the ante. Once he actually confronts the problem, he solves it pretty easily, but not as easily as other stories. Easy for what the sense of the comic had been giving. But that is a small criticism for something that, God, I've been begging for most of these 100 issues of Action Comics and 48 issues of Superman, which of course have had multiple stories in them. But this is what I want, and this is what we should be getting more of once the 50s come around. Though, we're going to talk about the 50s. I'm going to do a video on what was happening in comics in the 50s and why I think that's the Dark Ages, or what we should refer to as the Dark Ages in comics, not the modern age when things actually got dark. Okay, that is it from Superman number 48, The Man Who Stole the Sun. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, hit the bell icon to get a notification when a new video is up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Fridays is Bat Friday, where I cover a Batman story in either Detective Comics or Batman. And until next time, let us ponder whatever did happen to the Man of Tomorrow. And what would have happened if this had come later, after the whole yellow sun power is introduced? Superman would have been in much more trouble. Okay, have a great day.